What do we have here, though? We can't really see them at this rate, which is a little unfortunate. One downside, potentially big downside, in fact, to going with Liara and Tally here, is that in situations like this where we'd kind of just like to send someone out there, get the enemy's attention, and bait them out, we don't have a natural tank to just absorb all the damage. I totally just accidentally shot that and startled myself and nearly jumped out of my seat. But, you know, previously, we've been using a lot of Rex, and so he's great for that purpose because he has a lot of HP and regenerates that HP, so you just throw him out there, he'll take a couple of hits, and then we'll ask him to retreat, but at least we can sort of flush out all the enemies that way. But with no Rex, and no Ashley would probably be the next best person for that purpose, it's a far more difficult task to achieve, and I suppose Tally, I think, has the highest HP at this point. So, Tally, guess what? If you could go. Oh, lovely. We got ourselves some hoppers. Where specifically, though? Okay, it's a stalker, more specifically. You may remember, we were reading up on our Geth hoppers recently. There are 3 varieties of them. I don't remember, technically speaking. There is some sort of hierarchy in terms of, this is the weakest one, this is the middle one, this is the strongest one. I think, if I remember correctly, the strongest ones are the ghosts, which I don't believe we've seen yet. Maybe once or twice in some side quests that are technically supposed to be sort of like later game side quests. But these ones, although technically not the strongest, are still dangerous if we let them hit us, because they generally have some strong sniping-like abilities. So I think we'll stasis this guy and get our weapons overheated immediately, and this is the other Get Sapper over there, which if we could, say, have Liara do something to sabotage you, that would be lovely. And we kind of need to switch our own weapons here, because that may be one of the few times we've had our weapon overheat. Which means we now need to go to a weapon we are not trained with, which is rather unfortunate, but it does eventually mean we can get rid of both of these guys. Okay. I'm curious to see what these two have to say when we're just walking around this area. If we're even able to chat with them. Apparently we cannot chat with them. I take it back. Mum is the word. Okay, so let's, now that our weapon is presumably no longer overheated, switch on back to the weapon we're actually trained with. Okay. So, more where that came from? Sounds like it. Maybe. Possibly. Let's see, if we're looking at our map here, it seems like we might be able to go in a couple different directions. If we go straight forward, then that would theoretically be the way that leads us to the colony. And there we can see that theoretically is where we'd run into Fidan. But is there anything behind us? Because it kind of looked like there was. No, I suppose it's just a wall. Alright, nothing there in that case. So let's head in, and are we gonna run into more Geth here? Greta Reynolds, you don't look like a Geth, although you do appear to be shooting, or at least pointing a weapon at our faces.
Head to the tunnels. Make sure they're secure. What if I find Geth there? Are you saying you won't go? No, I'll go.
Okay, so it sounds like these may be the colonists in question, but as anticipated, they are, expectedly, running into some problems with the Geth. Hello?
Those Geth are bloody dangerous.
Yeah, but we are not Geth, so if you could maybe just, like, put down your weapon for a second here.
Get ready.
Alright.
Glad to see some soldiers. Our numbers are getting thin.
Alright. Baka?
The Geth will surely kill us all.
Okay. That's, nice, positive thoughts, everybody.
How is a woman supposed to think with guns going off all around?
I mean, I'm kind of with you on that one. It does seem like people are a little trigger happy here. And then again, I suppose, when Geth are constantly attacking what is, at least theoretically, at most, a colony of 300, I mean, that's the number we saw when we were getting over here. Is that number still accurate? I mean, maybe quite a bit smaller at this point. Alright, then we have Ledra over here.
I fear the Geth will kill us all.
Yeah, you know, I'm sensing a bit of a common theme here. It doesn't seem like you're the only person who's thinking that. Devine Reynolds?
The Geth are mounting another attack.
Yeah, it does seem like that may be the case. Alright, so there is some kind of freighter in here. A down freighter of sorts that it seems as though maybe they've sort of made into their base of sorts. So we'll take a little look around here on our way over to Fidan, who appears to be just on the other side of this.
My headaches are getting better. I just have to stop thinking about the past.
Okay, what is this all about? Can we chat with you guys?
The Geth just keep coming.
Seems like, at the moment, everybody is just primarily concerned with all the Geth, which I suppose is not that unexpected. We also have a public extranet terminal here, which is one of the few places where you can get this codex entry. So that is worth noting that it is hard to fill out your codex entry of absolutely every entry. That is one of the places to get one of the more obscure ones. So in theory, we should find Fidan right there, in fact. Anyone else we want to try to chat with before that? Also, Fidan, just in case you didn't know, I mean, heard a lot of talk about Geth and imminent attacks. You might want to check that hallway behind you. Just a thought. There may be more. There may be more where those previous Geth came from.
Oh, Commander. I'm glad they finally sent somebody to help us.
You're a bit late, aren't you?
Excuse me?
Sorry, Commander. Everyone's on edge since...
Watch out!
Oh dear.
We've got Geth in the tower!
Well, you know,
North of the colony!
what did I tell you? We got, okay, Geth Sniper, Geth Shock Trooper, Geth Sniper back there, because we got a lot of Geth Snipers. So, and based on our minimap, a lot more where those guys are about to come from. So, if we look back here at where we came from, and just ignore the Geth for a moment, we can see that, I mean, there should be, in theory, I mean, it's a little bit open here, but if we fall back a bit, there's at least some things that we could fall back behind cover for. I mean, there's even, like, this stuff right here. That's maybe a little bit close still. I think maybe first things first, let's use Singularity to try to incapacitate the ones that are right next to us. That might buy us enough time. Okay. To start, not for one of these, not yet. There we go. Does seem like there's more where that came from, though. Yeah, I think they're starting to come down here. Okay, so this is another sniper. I don't like the snipers, because they are, in theory, capable of dishing out a lot of damage really quickly. Okay, but again, we kind of need to get their attention here. So, Tally, if you could do the honors. And fall back. Can't tell if that one that's closest to us is moving now or not. I don't think it is. In which case, let's have both of you move in, and we'll follow suit. Whoa, something's hitting us. And based now we can't see them at the moment. I'm thinking that could very well be one of those hoppers that's just hanging out in some obscure corner somewhere. That's Tally we're seeing. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do barrier. Oops. That one. Both have people on them, but the thing is, Stasis is a useful offensive ability. What are you shooting at, Tally? Something below you, it seems? Well, something is hitting us now. Let's... Oh, I can hear the Geth, for sure. And, I think we can see them now. I think we can see them. Liara, if you could, like, maybe Singularity the guys right in front of us sometime soon, that'd be great. Also, it seems like you guys... I think that's actually Tally using her ability that is just exploding directly on top of us as she's trying to shoot at somebody who is down there. If you could, like, ignore them for the time being and instead go up here and engage with these Geth, that would be lovely. Oh, these guys... You actually did manage to hit them from way back there. They are, you know, I had my doubts. I didn't think you had done it, but it turns out you did. So, I apologize. You know? I didn't believe you. But you did truthfully succeed. And now the question is, what do we do to get rid of this one enemy? It's being rather elusive. at the moment. In theory, it's down here. Oh, there. Yeah, you have fallen down, it seems. As for whether that was because of maybe even the singularity that we just did, not entirely sure. But it does appear as though those Geth have been taken out. Let's head back over for a second and chat with Fidan once more. Now that the Geth are gone, maybe he'll have more to say to us.
We've got Geth in the tower.
Okay, maybe not. Oh, that's actually not Fidan, though. You are.
Protect the heart of the colony!
Okay, you know, maybe we need to do a little bit more to clear out those Geth. For now, let's just take a look here. So, stop Geth in the tower. The Geth have taken control of a tower. Go up the stairs and make your way to the tower to stop their advance. Okay, so we did start to do that, but we didn't do it in full just yet. So make sure to go up there and see who else we can take out. We also did get some loot from finding those. So we got Proton rounds level 7, Shredder rounds level 7, and Scram Rail level 9. I'm a big fan of Scram Rail because that is a nice source of pure damage. If we look at, I think this might be something we'll want to put on tally here. This is plus 23% damage, minus 10% heat absorption. So it does mean she will be able to shoot less often, or at least shoot less often before her weapon actually overheats. But at least in a damage per shot, from that standpoint, she will have better damage, better DPS. So that is probably preferable. I think in many ways we are basically using Tally as our fill-in, as our weapons damage person, because Liara isn't really providing that, nor are we. So we are leaning pretty heavily on Tally with this shotgun. Oh, and tell you what, is it worth using that? I think the Sokolov is better, but it is, of course, a lower level, and I think specifically because we're doing several things between the Scram Rail and the Hammerhead rounds that do cause her weapon to overheat more quickly, probably worth sacrificing a little bit of damage in order to get a little bit more heatsink capacity. Otherwise, if we were to use, say, this Armageddon 10, then she would fire less than 2 shots even, and it would overheat. I mean, obviously, you can't shoot 1.5 shots, but that puts her in a pretty tough spot. So I think it's a little bit of a balancing act, but Sokolov is probably still better in this circumstance. But anyways, let's push onward in that case, since it does seem as though that's where we need to go. Make sure that our friends are still tagging along. Okay, so saw some Geth here. Take a look at our map here real quick, see what we're expecting to run into. So yeah, we have stopped the Geth in the tower. It seems to be over here to the left. And there is another area over here straight ahead, but I think based on where our objective is located, we may be able to hold off on that for now. And we can already see there is some sign of additional Geth here. I suppose it shouldn't come as much as a surprise, seeing as how that's the reason why we're here. But more specifically, what are we looking at? We have Geth Trooper 1 and 2, and in theory there's something else a little bit further back on our map that we can't see by name right now. So I think, why don't we... I mean, stasis is probably a little bit of an overreaction to just a base Geth Trooper. What if we instead just, we overload both their shields here? Do we have enough radius? Maybe we do. 1 down. Stop moving. That's 2 down. And now it's looking like more are coming out. I don't think we had that many on our map before. Oh, look at that. There's definitely one up there. There's also a recon drone over there. Can we throw you while you're flying around? That'd be kind of fun. I'm not sure that worked. Oh, you are a sniper in the trees over here. For sure. Okay, this combat drone needs to go, like, now. So, what do we want to do to it? Can we have Tally instead be the one to overload it? So that's gone. Oh, there's another one right here. Now that one's gone, I think. Yes. Okay, we've got a shock trooper, or actually a couple of shock troopers starting to move in. Let's maybe use singularity on them as they start to approach. Incapacitate the 2 of them. That was, I believe, a carnage coming from Tally to deal a bunch of damage to them. That definitely helped. There's, in theory, at least one still back here. I think it is this sniper here. And we took care of him. Oh, there's more, though, now. This might be more shock troopers. Oh, hold on. That looks big. I think that might be a destroyer. I'm fairly certain of that. Let's lock you down if we can. Although, no, I'm afraid you were in cover. No, we took you out, though. And look at that. even more enemies coming in now. So it's just a wave after wave. Fortunately, we have at least a somewhat decent spot here, although can't really see where they are at this point. Kind of hard to tell. I think they're on the other side of as well as the crate. Okay, here's one of them, obviously. Pick up that second shield they've made. Oh, there's another one as well. I can't tell if we can actually hit here. There we go. That's another one we may need to advance at this point. In theory, may only be a couple remaining here, which is good. That way, if they are capable of hitting us here, then it shouldn't be as much of an issue. Okay, there's one trooper there, and another trooper there. One down. Issue from here. What if we use some area of effect abilities, like, say, Singularity to fish you out? Does that work? That certainly does. And so that's one of the reasons why Singularity is so good. And yes, they actually had some kind of Geth dropship, it looks like, that was giving them all those waves of enemies, and that makes sense, given how many of them there were.
And get a vehicle safely out of the Normandy. The Geth base is our next objective.
Okay. Alright, well, before we do head back to talk to Fidan, let's take a look around here, see if there's anything for us to loot. Which, I mean, one would think that might certainly be the case. So let's just take a second, see if there is anything that fits that description, because, whoa. There's definitely some stuff back here. Definitely some stuff back here in this corner. Got an upgrade kit. Snowbind rounds, 9. I think we might have some of those, and tungsten rounds and shredder rounds only go up to 7, and those are the ones that just deal extra damage to, in the case of tungsten, synthetics, and going up against Geth is definitely not bad in shredder, against organic enemies. Okay, then we have this, and we can theoretically break through. Let's wait for our opening, which I think is right now. And oh, look at that, a Unity amp, and then Krogan armor. Let's take a look at that amp, because of course it is hard to get amps. We currently have Liara using what is absolutely our best amp, so probably not going to be an upgrade for her, but possibly for us. And we also got proton rounds just from fighting all those Geth. Take a look at the amp, and here it is, and unfortunately I think it is one of the worst ones. It might even be the starting amp, it's just a higher level version of it. So it's basically just a worse version of what we currently have equipped. It's definitely not worth using, at least not on anyone that we have here. Maybe something we'll just end up selling. And I think that's probably it in terms of what will be useful to us here. Just to check in, we'll now just inform Fidan that we have taken out the Geth from the tower. And so that's some loot in there, this corner. Let's see if there's anything else up in this area before we head back entirely. I mean, in theory, I'm fairly certain that if you really wanted to, you could head back to this location, at least at some points. Maybe not for the entirety of this mission, but if you found that you rushed back and you missed an opportunity to loot that stuff that we were just looking at, then I think you can, at least, if you go back relatively quickly, still go back and get it. It's looking like that may be it, though. So in that case, let's actually head down here and around this way. Head back. This is where we came from. Through here. And then we saw a couple of directions we could go down, including this way that we're currently facing. We don't really know what is down here in the tunnels, so I'm thinking we can probably wait before we go that route, but that's just, bear that in mind. There is, theoretically, another area down here that we've yet to explore. So, if we're going back to Fidan, though, I think we're going this way. And we'll see if we run into any Geth along the way. I mean, there's definitely sounds. Sound like combat. But no red marks on our map. We may be in the clear here.
The tower's secure. Thanks to you, Commander.
Alright. Mission accomplished. Or at least, that component of the mission. Happy to help.
I'm just glad your colony is safe.
I appreciate your concern and your efforts against the Geth.
They may have been slowed, but they'll be back. They always come back.
I mean, we can stick around for a little bit. How else can we help?
Help me find what the Geth are after, and you'll all get out of here alive.
We don't know what they're after. They came, they attacked us, that's all we know. Their main base is at the Exogeny headquarters. A good place to start looking if you want answers.
That is kind of strange, though, right? Why would their main base be at this place where this other company has their headquarters? I mean, that would seem to suggest that there's some kind of affiliation between those two. We have any reason to be suspicious of ExoGeni?
What's ExoGeni?
It's the company most of us worked for before the attacks. They fund this colony.
Okay.
The Skyway leads directly to ExoGeni headquarters. You can't miss it.
Of course, there's an army of Geth between here and there.
Okay. I mean, that does sound a little daunting, but then, of course, that is kind of what we're here for.
I didn't expect this would be easy.
Then maybe I can get this colony operational again.
Oh. Okay. Care to elaborate? Let's maybe talk first about the Geth base itself.
What can you tell me about the defenses the Geth have set up?
I don't have any details, but I'll wager it's a lot more fortified than the command post.
They landed at least one Geth ship at ExoGeni, and I've seen large walking tanks on the Skyway. Expect a hard fight.
I mean, we definitely did just see some kind of ship in the tower up there. And walking tanks, presumably you're referring to things like armatures? Then operational? Not entirely sure what this is getting at, but it might have been... Dan might have said something along the lines of trying to get the colony back to being operational. My guess is that's what that's alluding to?
What do you need done to get this place back on its feet?
Yeah.
We need those Geth destroyed.
Arcelia's right. There are still Geth in the tunnels. We also have more mundane problems like food, water, and power. I'm not sure where we stand on those matters. You should talk to the people overseeing them.
Okay, so we can ask more about this, and let me just start up by saying, yes, those things are important. So, if you are rushing through your Mass Effect playthrough and you're wondering, I'm not gonna do the side quests. They don't really matter, right? I'm just here to do the main thing. Let me just tell you, it may be worth the effort. So, let's ask a little bit more. I mean, he said it may be best to talk to other people here, or maybe the resident experts when it comes to water, power, or food infrastructure in place. But, oh, and even the Geth in the tunnels? Why don't we start with Geth in tunnels, then? It sounds like that might be more so the expertise of the people in our present company.
Do you have information about Geth in the lower tunnels?
Nothing new. They're in the tunnel somewhere, likely guarding a transmitter to coordinate attacks.
Okay.
It's not a critical threat right now, but getting rid of that transmitter will help us defend against further attacks.
It's more of a long-term thing. Okay. What about water shortage? Can you tell us anything at all?
Is there anything I can do to solve your water shortage?
Maka Doyle has been assigned to that particular issue. If you have any insight to offer, please speak with her.
Okay, so I think we did run into her on our way in, and she was just one of the other many people commenting about the imminent Geth threat. What about power?
What's wrong with the colony's power supply?
May O'Connell is working on our power problems. She'd know more about it than I do.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure we ran into her as well. Then the food, is it a similar case here?
You mentioned something about a food shortage.
Davin Reynolds is tasked with securing food for the immediate future. If you can assist, please speak with him.
Okay. That all makes sense. Is there anything else we can discuss with you, though?
Hope and Pharos in general.
Of course, Commander.
So let's see, that was all the ways we can help them to get their base back to being operational. As for the colony more generally, though, I guess what can you tell us?
Tell me about your colony.
Life is hard and often brutal, even without our current problems. Colonial Affairs back on Earth told us we'd be beneath the notice of any raiders. I guess they weren't counting on the Geth. But,
So is this group originally
despite
from Earth,
everything,
then?
There's something tranquil about this place, unlike anything I've experienced before.
Obviously, most humans are originally from Earth, yes, but even in the relatively early stages of humans in the galactic stage, there have still been some, and I think possibly even us, who were either born in space or on other colonies. Because I think we chose the spacer background, if I remember correctly. Then, let's see. As for ExoGeni, I believe is the only one we've not yet asked about.
What else can you tell me about ExoGeni?
ExoGeni funded this colony. Without them, we wouldn't be stuck here.
They specialize in colonization. In return for bankrolling the colony, we work for them.
I mean, well, that
Their
doesn't seem
main
to be
goal
going
is
very
the
well.
retrieval of valuable artifacts or resources.
Except there isn't anything here. Or if there is, we didn't find it.
I mean, what kind of artifacts are we talking about?
I wonder if that's what the Geth are looking for.
Could be.
Perhaps. As she said, we never found anything of value.
Of course, the Geth could know something we don't.
Okay, so I think that leaves us with everything we can learn from these two.
I'll talk to you when I learn more.
Good luck, Commander.
Okay. Interesting. So then, we'll see our journal has updated here, and basically, what that means is if we look at Geth attack, the primary component is to go to the Exogeny headquarters to take down the primary Geth base. However, as we were just learning, there are several other things that we can do to help the colony get back on its feet. And like I was saying, that is, although it might seem like just a small thing right now, actually rather important long term. So we know about the Geth in the tunnels. We've asked them, Fidan and, I already forget the woman's name, but they are sort of the experts in that regard. So we need to hunt down the Geth in the tunnels beneath Zhu'S Hope for remaining Geth forces and find the remaining Geth forces and their transmitter. And so that may be the whole area that we saw the elevator for previously. But they were saying we should talk to the others to learn more about the other quests. Technically speaking, I should note here that you can actually go out and just complete those quests and then talk to the other people after you've already done all the dirty work for them. That is possible, but of course I feel like just to get the lay of the land, get a better understanding as to what all this stuff is about, might be best to actually get the briefing preemptively, rather than just do all this stuff and not understand why or what we're doing, and just talk to people afterward and go, oh, I guess you're the person who is interested in all this stuff. We saw these people briefly before. I don't think they were on the list of people who were experts in any given subject or that had specific things that they wanted us to do for them. Let's see if we can learn anything from them.
You'll have to forgive my wife. Calantha's not in her right mind. She just needs to relax and accept what's happened.
What? Care to elaborate? Okay, can you tell us any more about what's going on here?
What happened to your wife?
The constant attacks have strained us all. She'll adapt. We all have.
Can we help with that?
Is there anything I can do for her?
No, she just needs time. Time to absorb everything. We'll be fine.
Okay. Just seems a little off, is all. Maybe her, but I mean, you as well. Let's maybe just ask about him too.
What do you do for the colony?
I'm a medic. Or I am since the doctor died. I've tried my best since she was killed.
Oh, that's not good. So you are a backup medic. Do you have any medical training at all? I guess maybe the next question to ask you. Well, can you tell us anything about the planet or the colony more generally?
Do you know anything about this planet?
Just what I was told by Colonial Affairs. It's a little different from what they claimed. It's not all bad, though. When the Geth are gone, we'll have a chance to create something even more spectacular than before.
Okay, I mean, you know, that is actually perhaps the most optimistic take that we've heard just yet. So that's a little bit of a breath of fresh air. What about the colony specifically, though?
Tell me about the colony.
I can't tell you much about that. You'd best ask Fidan if you really must know.
That's kind of strange. You know, you're a member of the colony. I don't understand why you wouldn't just be able to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here and what the colony has been doing as a whole.
Why can't you tell me? I just want to know about the colony.
Fidan is our leader. Who better to answer questions about the colony?
Alright, I guess if you insist. It's a little weird, but sure.
I have to go.
Alright, can we
Please do
talk?
what you can to stop the attacks.
And that we will. Can we talk specifically to your wife?
Hello, Off-Worlder. I'm glad that we aren't totally forgotten by the rest of the galaxy.
Dear, please try to rest. You're not ready to speak.
But they should know... I mean, they are very important.
Hmm?
Yes. That's better.
Huh? Yeah, the weirdness is starting to increase significantly and may not be off the charts just yet, but it's getting close. It's getting close. What exactly is going on here?
Is there anything I can do for you?
I'm fine. I just need to try to think clearly. It's just a lingering pain from the last attack. I'll be fine.
Sure about
I see
that?
no major injury, but something must be causing her pain.
Please, just let her rest. She just needs rest.
Very odd. Okay. So we did, of course, already get the codex entry from that, in which case I think we just carry on here. And let's see. So this is... Oh, that's Fidan and others. Head... Oh, it's just weird how, if we look at our mini-map here, got an exclamation point here that is appearing and then disappearing and what have you. Making it a little hard to keep track of all that stuff, but I think if we keep on going this way, further in, we'll find Davin Reynolds, who we spoke to briefly before, but again, was just one of those people who was complaining about the Geth.
You're the one who repelled that last wave.
But that is true.
They'll be back. And if the Geth don't kill us, we'll die of hunger soon enough.
Goodbye. No, I believe you were the designated food expert, if I'm not mistaken.
Are you doing anything to remedy the situation?
I need to boost rations with Varen meat, but it's too dangerous.
I'll go without rations.
He's huge and he's mad. Rabid, maybe. Totally uncontrollable. I can't do anything until he's dead.
Okay, so you're basically saying there's a big, bad Varen? Whatever that is, and that's stopping you from getting additional food? I mean, we could try flying supplies in. We do the Normandy here.
I have a ship. I could bring in supplies from off-world.
I'd rather you concentrated on the Geth. Food won't help us if they breach our defenses.
Alright, well, I mean, it's not like we can only do one thing here. We're a multi-talented team. We can chew bubblegum and walk at the same time. Thank you very much. Let's see. So we can try asking you about, I'd say hunting the Varen seems like that might be the most relevant question for you, because apparently that's how you're planning on getting food, or at least that's what's stopping you from getting food right now, is having issues with that.
Tell me about hunting Varen.
Hunting them is impossible while fending off the Geth. On the positive side, they'll attack anything, even those damn synthetics.
Okay.
Big Alpha Varen is the real problem. He's mad, erratic, completely unpredictable.
I mean, but if they're fighting the Geth, then maybe it's actually a good thing to have them there? They're doing some of the hard work for you? Well, I guess still, in an ideal world, there'd be no Geth and there would be no Alpha Varen either. So is that one of those things where, you know, you get rid of an Alpha Varen, you know, the alpha dog of the group, and then just, well, whoever's next in line, whoever's next on the hierarchy becomes the new Alpha Varen, and then suddenly that's your problem. And who knows? I mean, maybe, I suppose there's a chance that, genetically speaking, that this other Varen is just physically different than the others, and so it is bigger and more threatening than the others, so you get rid of him, even if someone else assumes the role of Alpha Varen, still not as much of a threat. Who knows? That's hunting Varen. What about you specifically? What's your deal?
Tell me about yourself.
What's to tell? I came here with my wife Greta, looking for adventure, a new life together. This isn't exactly what we signed up for.
Is your wife still here?
It would be much better without the Geth. We were really starting to enjoy the colony before they came.
Okay, so, you know, we can take care of the Geth, then maybe things wouldn't be so bad. What about the colony itself? Of course, the last group that we tried to ask about this, they were rather evasive about this topic.
Tell me about Zhu'S Hope.
The colony is growing, or it was. But you should speak with Fidan. He is our leader.
Yeah, again, a little strange. Everyone's all like, no, I don't want to talk about this. Just talk to Fidan.
Why should I speak to Fidan? Why can't you tell me?
I don't want to talk about that right now. Speak with Fidan.
Again? Kind of off-putting, but...
I have to go.
Okay.
So long, Commander.
Alright, and we did get a codex entry from that conversation. I think this one may actually be worth reading, because if we look at aliens, non-sapient creatures...
After the Geths...
We now have an entry on Varen.
Omnivores, with a preference for living prey. Originally native to the Krogan homeworld of Tuchanka, they are, like most life from Tuchanka, savage, clannish, and consummate survivors. They are pack hunters when vulnerable prey is readily available, and become scavengers when outnumbered or outclassed. Their supreme adaptability, vicious demeanor, and rapid breeding cycle have made them ubiquitous and dangerous pests on many worlds. Virtually everywhere the Krogan have been, Varen infestations have followed, wreaking havoc with the native ecology. The Krogan have had a love-hate relationship with Varen for millennia, alternately fighting them for territory and embracing them as treasured companions. To this day, Krogan raise them as beasts of war. one of the common subgenus of Varan has metallic silver scales, leading to the rather unusual nickname, fish dogs.
Okay, so those are the Varan. And in theory, there is an alpha Varan of some variety that is making it hard for them to hunt the normal Varan, which it sounds like would otherwise be their primary source of food, or at least one of their sources of food. So that's the idea there, is they need us to help them deal with that problem, at least to help resolve their food shortage. And after we talk with him, let's see, we now get the quest, the assignment, for Pharaoh's Varan meat. So although we did talk about this previously with Fidan, only once we actually speak to the designated expert at the colony do we actually get the individual entry for this quest. Again, technically speaking, you can go out and if you happen to find the Alpha Varan, you can just, you know, and do all the stuff we find here, find him and kill him, and then report back, and only then talk to Davin. But just so we know what we're dealing with here, I'm gonna make a point of trying to speak to everyone first. Let's see what else we can learn here. That person is not doing so well. Oh, I really thought they were dead, but it does look like their head moved there. This guy's supposed to be dead or alive? Somebody might want to check this guy out. The person who's supposed to be the fill-in medic, you might want to get out here. Not sure how this guy's doing. But anyways, we also have May O'Connell here, and actually, it can be kind of hard to see her sometimes, because she's all crouched down over here, kind of in a corner, hiding behind what may be their generator.
Nice work with those Geth. Glad you showed up. I still need the power cells for this generator, though.
Okay. We talking like fuel cells or what?
Would it help if I brought in some power cells from the Normandy? We can certainly spare a few.
Your top-of-the-line ship doesn't use the same parts as the old generator we've got. The cells just aren't compatible.
Alright, I suppose. Fair enough. You sure? I mean, did we try going this route? I'm not sure. Maybe we can insist by going this route?
Would it help if I brought in some power cells from the Normandy? We can certainly spare a few.
Alright.
Your top-of-the-line ship doesn't
Yeah.
use the same parts as the old generator.
Well, okay. In that case, I guess we'll just see what we can do.
If I find anything while I'm looking around, I'll send it your way.
Thank you, Commander. I appreciate it.
Okay, so that is the power issue, and that is kind of creepy how she's a lightning-fast person capable of instantly crouching and standing up without even blinking an eye. So now we get an entry for the power problem, the power cells. May O'Connell has asked you to find replacement power cells in the ruins of Zhu'S Hope in order to restore power to the colony. So that is another thing that we would like to do, if given the opportunity. Then we have... Oh, we do have Greta. Okay, this was the person who is, I believe, the wife of one of the people that we saw previously.
Do what I can.
Oh, yikes. And I was saying, I don't know, is she still alive? I hope so. You were talking about her kind of, sort of, as if she was still here, although given how much trouble you guys have run into as a colony and not seeing her at the time, it did beg the question, is she still standing, or have the Geth gotten rid of her? Then we have Maka Doyle.
I'm sorry, but I can't stop to talk. I have to deal with the water shortage.
Okay, so yeah, we did hear about this. What exactly is wrong with it, though?
Is there anything I can do?
The utilities building was one of the first to fall under Geth control. Find the mains and turn them back on. Until then, this colony is dry.
That would seem to suggest that, you know, like, at best, you guys are lasting, what, a couple of days? Can't go very long without water. We could theoretically fly water in, though. Again, we have the Normandy here. We could ship some stuff in.
I have a ship fueled and ready to go. I could bring water in.
Unless you plan to make a trip every few days, that wouldn't really solve our problem. We need to be self-sufficient.
Alright, I mean, I suppose you're not wrong about that. Do it yourself. That's pretty harsh. I mean, sure, there is something to be said for that, but at the same time, I mean, they're a small colony that is getting overwhelmed by a huge Geth force, and then on top of that, all these issues are facing them as well. Things like, you know, this Alpha Varan making it hard for them to get their food, problems with their water supply, their power supply. You know, a colony that is this small and this weakened, it's not so easy to get the job done here. This is the kind of situation where you get stretched too thin, and that could be the end of you. So let's see if we can learn any more from you. maybe we just talk about you, your background. What's your team?
Tell me about yourself.
I'd rather not. This is not the time.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Please, help us or don't. Otherwise, leave me to my work.
I mean, again, yeah, you do kind of have a point. Fair enough. As for the colony itself, though, I mean, it may just be that you really don't want to talk about anything, because in your eyes it's a waste of time, which, I mean, it's kind of true compared to the water supply, getting that back online. That is kind of top priority, at least for you.
What do you know about this planet?
I am not the one to ask about that. Ask Phi Dan or one of the others.
Alright, and again, the whole, I don't want to talk about that, ask Phi Dan. But on this occasion, I mean, there's, again, you know, there's some logic to that. She's maybe not the expert historian or researcher of everything Pharaohs.
Tell me about the colony.
We are a small group, part of a larger colony, before the Geth attacked.
Part of a larger colony? Oh.
You should speak to Phi Dan.
I could have guessed that.
He knows the colony best.
Okay. But that is interesting to hear that you're saying this is just a small group of what was a larger colony, and bear that in mind. We saw that at most 300 people, and if this is just a subset of that 300 people, and who knows when that number was taken, I imagine probably before the Geth attack, that means that, you know, what was once 300 is probably, might be as low as 200 now, and, you know, if half those people are here, half of them are somewhere else, then that means this is at most 100 people, and that may sound like a lot, but once you think about, you know, we have some people just tasked with doing the basic necessities to keep this place running, like working on the water supply, the power supply, the food supply. Then you may have some people who are unfit to fight, like we were seeing in the actual ship there, the downed ship, where, you know, there's the husband and wife who are kind of trying to keep it low-key, recover from whatever it may have been. But they don't appear to be ready to fight. And then we were just talking to someone who was, I believe, the wife of the person who was in charge of the food supply, saying that she has a weapon, but she's not exactly trained to use it. And so you add all those pieces together, and there aren't really many people to defend the colony, and those who are able to do so may not necessarily be trained to do that. So they're not in a very good situation right now. But I think that is everything we can do when chatting with you here. So let's head out.
I have to go.
I wish you luck.
That was, not the friendliest way of saying that you wish us luck. That was kind of like a passive-aggressive, I don't actually want you to help me. Even though, you know, I'm offering to help you, and you're saying how this is, like, crucially important to you and the rest of the colony, so I don't know. I don't know about that. But, anyways, that does mean that now we should have another entry. So we have water restoration and power cells. So water restoration, search through the tunnels beneath Zhu'S Hope to find the water valves. Power cells, I guess, just to open this up here. Search the tunnels beneath Zhu'S Hope to find the missing power cells. So, you might be sensing a bit of a theme here. Most, if not all, the things that we are looking for to help get the colony back up and running is in, well, in the tunnels, in one way or another. So that is definitely the place that we are looking to go to next. However, we may still have a couple of people that we can still chat with before we start heading out. I mean, these are just random colonists here.
At least they've been slowed. Well, at least the Geth can't regroup at the command post anymore.
I suppose there's that. We've at least provided some assistance already.